Craftsman Days are here at Lowe's with big savings on the tools you need. Save $100 on the Craftsman V26 Tool Power Tool Combo Kit, now at $199. No matter what the project is, Craftsman's high-quality, high-performance products empower you to build on. Stop by your nearest Lowe's store and check out the full line of Craftsman tools today. Valid through 6/18 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Nats Chat is brought to you by Walters. Hey, get ready, Washington, D.C. sports fans. The D.C. Defenders are making history by hosting the first football playoff game in D.C. in over a decade. The game is happening this Sunday afternoon, April 30th at 3 at Audi Field. The excitement is building, and we're thrilled to announce that Walters Sports Bar will be opening early on Sunday at 10 a.m. for the game. Get your game face on, bring your friends, and join us for a fun-filled day of football, food, and drinks. Don't miss this chance to be a part of Washington, D.C. sports history.
Victor Robles on deck. We'll see. Here's the pitch. He's swinging away, and a ground ball through the hole to base hit left field. Rounding third, being waved home is Smith. Canna's throw to the plate, the tag, the slide, safe. And so it's a base hit to left for CJ Abrams through the drawn-in left side of the infield. Stopping at second was Thomas. The Nationals lead 2-0.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Pham. Gore sets and fires. Strike 3 called. He got him looking. That's 10 strikeouts for MacKenzie Gore here at Citi Field. He matches his career high. 3rd time he's struck out 10 in his career. His first time, hopefully of many, as a Washington National.
The slow leg kick and the pitch. Breaking ball hit on the ground toward the middle. It's on through into center field. A base hit. Robles scores from third, and Alex Call delivers on the 3-2 pitch and drives in his 10th run of the year with a ground ball single right up the middle. And it's now the Nationals 4, the Mets 1.
And welcome to Nats Chat for Thursday, April 27th, 2023. I'm Al Galdi, host of the Al Galdi podcast. Mark Zuckerman is off for this installment of the podcast. He'll be back for Friday's show. So I began this national season by saying there are 5 players in particular on whom we should focus with our rebuilding Nats. Shortstop CJ Abrams, catcher Keibert Ruiz, second baseman Luis Garcia, and starting pitchers MacKenzie Gore and Josiah Gray. Now, those guys are not the only Nats who matter, but they are the Nats at the major league level who matter the most right now. The truth about this Nats season is that the outcomes of games don't matter nearly as much as the performances of those 5 players. And so you think about where we are with those 5 players so far. Abrams and Garcia have been good defensively, but not so good offensively. Ruiz has been solid, but Gore and Gray right now are surging. And what is happening with Gore and Gray right now is really exciting. Josiah Gray in the Nats' 5-0 win at the New York Mets on Tuesday night was good for a 4th consecutive start. And MacKenzie Gore on Wednesday night was outstanding. The Nats went at the Mets 4-1 in Game 2 of a 3-game series. The Nats now are 9-14 and now have won 4 of their last 5 games and now have won back-to-back series. But the story of this game from a Nats perspective, without question, was MacKenzie Gore. So MacKenzie Gore, he was one of the 6 players and 5 prospects who the Nats acquired from the San Diego Padres in the mega trade of outfielder Juan Soto and first baseman Josh Bell to the Padres last August 2nd, what was 2022 MLB trade deadline day. The Padres took Gore with the number 3 pick in the 2017 MLB draft. He entered the 2021 season as the number 6 prospect in baseball per MLB pipeline. MacKenzie Gore has the potential to be an ace. But he ended up not pitching for the Nats at the major league level last season. He, at the time of being acquired by the Nats, was dealing with left elbow inflammation, and he over 4 starts for AAA Rochester last September actually didn't do so well, ERA of 5.25. Then came the 2023 exhibition season, during which Gore struggled, although he did pitch well in his final exhibition start. Well, here we are now. And MacKenzie Gore has been very good, and he, on Wednesday night, was superb. 1 run in 6 innings with 10 strikeouts. He gave up just 4 hits, a triple, and 3 singles, and the triple really wasn't that bad. More on that in a bit. Gore issued 2 walks. He threw 101 pitches, 66 strikes versus 35 balls. MacKenzie Gore on Wednesday night pitched like the ace we know he can be, and we hope that he becomes. Let's just focus on the strikeouts, shall we? Gore on Wednesday night, like I said, 10 strikeouts. Gore now, over 5 starts this regular season, has a strikeouts per 9 innings of 11.67. That is the stuff of an ace. But the specifics of these strikeouts were just great. Gore in the bottom of the first struck out the Mets' number 1 batter, Brandon Nimmo, on 3 consecutive swings and misses. Gore in the bottom of the second recorded all 3 outs via strikeouts. Gore in the bottom of the fourth with a runner on first and 2 outs struck out Tommy Pham looking on a beautiful full count curveball. Gore in the bottom of the fifth with runners on first and second and 1 out struck out the Mets' number 2 batter, Starling Marte, on 4 pitches, getting him to swing and miss on a 1-2 curveball. Gore in the bottom of the sixth with a runner on first and 2 outs struck out Tommy Pham looking on a 1-2 curveball on what was Gore's 101st and final pitch of the game. Talk about ending on a high note. And who did that remind you of? Did that not remind you of the Nats' last true ace and the current New York Met, in fact? A guy who has gotten himself into some trouble with this suspension situation he finds himself in. But Max Scherzer, right? Max used to do exactly that. End on a high note. End strong. Seemingly end with a dramatic, meaningful strikeout. That's what Max used to do. That's what MacKenzie did on Wednesday night. I'm not saying that Gore is Scherzer, okay? But did that not reek of peak Max Scherzer with the Nats? What Gore did on Wednesday night. As for the lone run that Gore allowed on Wednesday night, bottom of the third, Gore gave up a first pitch leadoff opposite field triple by Eduardo Escobar on a ball that got by right fielder Lane Thomas. Thomas failed in his attempt at a sliding forward catch. The ball ended up rolling all the way to the wall. And so Escobar had a triple in what is his age 34 season. So many triples are like this, are they not? Like, the triples aren't necessarily these well-struck, deeply hit balls. The triples instead are these balls that get misplayed by outfielders who aren't charged with errors, and so the batters end up getting triples. But anyway, we had that triple by Escobar, and then Gore gave up a 2-out RBI single by Starling Marte to left center field to cut the Nats' lead to 2-1. Okay, fine. Okay, I think we can live with what happened in that bottom of the third, given everything else that happened with MacKenzie Gore on Wednesday night. What a job. Here was Nats manager Davey Martinez during his postgame session with reporters on Wednesday night on MacKenzie Gore.
Like we talked about earlier, man, when he can pound the strike zone, use his fastball, and throw strike one, he's gonna be what he was today. He's very, very effective. I mean, he's got a lot of movement on his ball. But I was so proud of him just going out there and trusting his fastball, keeping the ball down, and using it. And he did that. And every now and then he threw a slider when he needed to. But he was good. He was real good.
His curveball got a couple strikeouts as well. What did you see from that pitch? Yeah,
like I said, when you're pounding the zone with your fastball, and then you can drop a curveball in there, I mean, it helps. If you got to rely on your secondary pitches all the time, it'll be a different at bat for those hitters. So I think the key today was strike one, throwing his fastball and using his breaking balls when he needs to.
Yeah, MacKenzie Gore on Wednesday night was tremendous. He, in each of his previous 2 starts, had not been great. April 12th, 3-2 loss at the Los Angeles Angels. Gore lasted for just 3 2/3 innings, during which he allowed 2 runs. He gave up 4 hits, all of which were singles, but he issued 4 walks. He did record 6 strikeouts, but the walks and the strikeouts drove up his pitch count to where he ended up throwing a ton of pitches. Gore in that outing ended up throwing 88 pitches over his 3 2/3 innings. And then April 19th, a 4-0 loss to the Orioles at Nationals Park. Gore allowed 3 runs in 6 innings. He only gave up 3 hits, but one was a 2-run homer, also gave up 2 singles. His biggest problem was issuing 4 walks, but he also recorded 7 strikeouts. So, it's not like Gore had been wretched in each of his previous 2 starts, but he certainly had not been at his best in each of his previous 2 starts. Walks had been an issue for Gore. They were not on Wednesday night, and Gore very much has been a strikeout pitcher. Hey, are you a law firm partner stuck on an underperforming team while the rest of the competitors are spending big and winning big? Well, unlike MacKenzie Gore, you have options. You don't have to stay on your 60-win team. Nats Chat sponsor Mason Kalfas and his team specialize in placing partners and associates at medium-sized and large law firms in Washington, D.C. and across the country. Mason Kalfas has recruiters in 6 states and has placed lawyers in more than half of the 100 largest law firms in the United States. While you may be reading doom and gloom from the legal press, many practices are red hot. Antitrust, IP litigation, white-collar litigation, finance and direct lending, and healthcare. Because you are not under a CBA or team control for 6 years. In fact, staying at a firm too long is often a recipe for being underpaid. Explore your options today with Mason Kalfas. Call Mason today at 202-486-3535. That number again, 202-486-3535.
Finnegan ready. Here's the kick. Here's the pitch, and the fastball is in there. Strike 3 called. Knee-high inside corner. And a Curly W's in the books. And so is a series win in New York as the Nationals go to 4-1 on this road trip with one more to play here tomorrow night.
Reliever Hunter Harvey. What a job by him in this 4-1 Nats win at the Mets on Wednesday night. So 3 Nats relievers combined for 3 scoreless and hitless innings with 5 strikeouts. Carl Edwards Jr. lasted for just 3 batters. He began the bottom of the 7th by issuing back-to-back walks, did then record a ground out, but then got pulled from the game. And into the game came Hunter Harvey. He ended up tossing 1 2/3 perfect innings with 3 strikeouts. Harvey came into the game in the bottom of the 7th with runners on 2nd and 3rd, 1 out, and the Nats nursing a 3-1 lead. And he was dominant. Harvey struck out the Mets' number 2 batter, Starling Marte, on 6 pitches. And Harvey then struck out the Mets' number 3 batter, Francisco Lindor, on 3 consecutive swings and misses. The extent to which Harvey humbled Lindor was sky high. And then Harvey tossed a perfect bottom of the 8th. Take a listen to this. This cracked me up when I saw this. Hunter Harvey, in this appearance on Wednesday night, per StatCast, threw 13 four-seam fastballs. Those 13 four-seam fastballs averaged exactly 99 miles per hour. Understand, Hunter Harvey's four-seam fastball velocity didn't peak at 99 miles per hour. His average four-seam fastball velocity was 99 miles per hour. We know that Hunter Harvey throws hard, but geez, watching him do this and in such a high leverage spot as was on display in that bottom of the 7th really was something. Here was Davey Martinez during his post-game session with reporters on Wednesday night on Hunter Harvey.
He was awesome. I think he took some from Mason yesterday. Yeah, I really did. I mean, we asked him. I didn't even have to ask him. He's going back out. He said, "I'm going back out." So it's beautiful. I mean, and he's another one. Just pounding the strike zone. He got some big outs for us.
When Lindor's that late on that first pitch, and then he goes back-to-back splitters, just what do you just notice about that sequence? He goes,
oh man, it's like, when his splitter's on like that, honestly, remind me of his dad. Facing his dad like that. 97. Strike and then whoop, whoop, and you were scratching your head going, man, his sequence today was good.
I tell you, interesting to hear Davey Martinez say that Hunter Harvey was pitching like his dad, the former major league closer, Bryan Harvey. But yeah, Hunter Harvey is a flamethrower. He now, in this regular season, 10 games, 10 1/3 innings, ERA of 2.61, a whip of less than 1, 0.97, and a strikeouts per 9 innings of 10.1. We, in the previous installment of the podcast, talked about Nats reliever Mason Thompson. Who has been the Nats' best reliever so far this season, Thompson or Harvey? There's a conversation. Each guy has been so good. And then we, on Wednesday night, had Kyle Finnegan closing things out, and he was just fine. He tossed a perfect bottom of the 9th with 2 strikeouts for the save. Hey guys, it's Al Galdi for Window Nation. Everyone loves a smart investment, especially right now, and there is no better place to put your money right now than in your home. If your home is 20 years old or older, Window Nation has the perfect offer for you. Get 0% financing for 5 years. This is unheard of. 0 interest for 5 years. Plus, Window Nation will give you 2 free windows for every 2 windows that you buy. Protect and increase the value of your home today. Get this special deal. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com and tell Window Nation that Al Galdi sent you. You can save up to 30% on your energy bills. You can increase the value of your home by up to $12,000, and you can pay 0 interest for 5 years and get 2 free windows for every 2 windows that you buy. And this goes for any style of window from Window Nation. There is no limit. Save thousands of dollars on your new windows and then save thousands of dollars on your energy bills, all while upgrading the look and feel of your home. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. That's 866-90-NATION or windownation.com, and tell Window Nation that you want the deal that you heard about from Al Galdi on the Nats Chat podcast. Again, 0 interest for 5 years plus 2 free windows for every 2 windows that you buy. 866-90-NATION or windownation.com. That's 866-90-NATION or windownation.com, and tell Window Nation that Al Galdi sent you.
2-2 to Candelario. Is hit in the air to deep right field. Way back it goes. To the track, to the wall, and it's gone! Jeimer Candelario with a solo shot over the wall and straightaway right for a huge insurance run in the 7th inning. Home run number 4 for the Nats third baseman. The Nats lead it 3-1.
The Nats offense in this 4-1 win at the Mets on Wednesday night, to me, actually was impressive. Not so much in the what, but in the how. So the Nats for the game, 4 runs, 8 hits, a home run, a double, and 6 singles, 7 walks, 3 of 13 with runners in scoring position. Aside from the 7 walks, the end-of-game totals don't blow you away. But what we had in this game from Nats batters were some beautiful 2-strike plate appearances. The Nats' process at the plate in this game was really good. Take, for example, Keibert Ruiz. So he on Wednesday night was the Nats starting catcher and number 5 batter, 1 for 4 with a single and a walk. So you say, all right, 1 for 4 with a single and a walk, that's fine, but nobody's going to go crazy over that. Well, take a listen to the specifics of the single and the walk. Ruiz in the Nats' 2-run second, a leadoff 7-pitch walk, despite having been down in the count at 1.12. And Ruiz in the top of the 7th, a 2-out single to right field to conclude a 9-pitch plate appearance. Dare I say, a 9-pitch war in which he was down at 1.12. So lengthy and so tedious was this plate appearance that Ruiz actually flipped his bat after the single. Yes, we had the rare bat flip after a single. Jeimer Candelario, he on Wednesday night was the Nats starting third baseman and number 3 batter, 1 for 5 with 2 strikeouts, but the one was a solo home run. Now, one of those strikeouts was brutal. Candelario in the top of the 2nd with the bases loaded, 2 outs, and the Nats holding a 2-0 lead, struck out swinging on 4 pitches. However, Candelario in the Nats' 1-run 7th, a 1-out solo home run to right field for a 3-1 Nats lead, despite having been down in the count at 1.12. Another instance of good 2-strike hitting from the Nats came from the ex-Met Dominic Smith, who, believe it or not, finally has an extra base hit. Here's how you know that things are going the Nats' way in this series. Dom Smith got himself an extra base hit. It finally has happened. Smith on Wednesday night was the Nats starting first baseman and number 6 batter, 1 for 5 with a double and a couple of strikeouts. Smith in the Nats' 2-run second, a double to the right center field gap on a 1-2 pitch for his first extra base hit of this regular season. He had totaled 0 extra base hits over his first 88 plate appearances, but he on Wednesday night got that double and on a 1-2 pitch and in a game at his former team, the Mets. And Smith then scored from second base on a CJ Abrams opposite field RBI single through the left side of the infield on an aggressive send by Nats third base coach, but the send worked out. Good hustle by Smith and a nice send by DiSarcina. CJ Abrams, by the way, was the only Nat on Wednesday night to have at least 2 hits. He is the Nats starting shortstop and number 8 batter, 2 for 4 with the RBI single and another single. He did commit a fielding error, but as we have discussed, CJ Abrams, from a fielding perspective, has done a really nice job. But more good 2-strike hitting by the Nats on Wednesday night. Alex Call, he was the Nats starting left fielder and number 1 batter, 1 for 4 with a single, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. One of those strikeouts was rather rough. Call in the top of the 6th with runners on second and third, 2 outs, and the Nats nursing a 2-1 lead, struck out swinging on 5 pitches. But Call in the Nats 1-run 8th, a 2-out RBI single up the middle for a 4-1 Nats lead to conclude an 8-pitch plate appearance in which he was down at 1.12. Lane Thomas on Wednesday night. He was the Nats starting right fielder and number 7 batter, 1 for 3 with an RBI infield single and a walk. Thomas in the top of the 4th, a leadoff 7-pitch walk despite having been down to the count at 1.12. Just a lot of good plate appearances by the Nats in this win at the Mets. So, no one's going to be blown away by this Nationals offense. But at the same time, you still can admire some of the good things that do happen. And on Wednesday night, if you watch the game, you saw some good things happen, even though, like I said, the end-of-game totals didn't necessarily overwhelm you. But back-to-back wins for the Nats at the Mets. Game 3 for the Nats at the Mets is on Thursday night at 7:10. The ex-Met, Trevor Williams, will be the Nats' starting pitcher as the Nats will try for their first sweep of a series, any series, since August 2021. The Nats haven't swept the 3-game series since June 2021 and haven't swept a road series of at least 3 games since August 2019. All of this can change on Thursday night. Don't forget to check out our new website, natschatpodcast.com, which allows you to listen to previous episodes of the show, email the show, and order a Nats Chat Podcast t-shirt. We appreciate you supporting the podcast however you can. That website, again, is natschatpodcast.com. You can tweet the show at Nats_chat. You can email the show, natschatpodcast@gmail.com, including if you would like to sponsor the Nats Chat Podcast. We are accepting sponsors of all kinds and in all kinds of ways. If you would like to sponsor, say, a singular show or a singular series, hit up the man behind this podcast, Tim Shovers, see what we can do for you. Again, that email address, natschatpodcast@gmail.com. And you can find us on Instagram at Nats Chat Podcast. All Nationals radio highlights on Nats Chat are courtesy of 106.7 The Fan. Thank you to Tim Newmark for the Nats Chat podcast music. Visit timnewmark.com. I'm Al Galdi. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you next time on the Nats Chat podcast.
2 down, Dodger ninth.
The Marlins win! The Marlins win! Break them up! They're in first place in the National League East. 46,000 fans ecstatic with the Marlins beating the Dodgers 6-3. Buck, it was great.
You couldn't have written the script any better. Bryan Harvey gets his first save. Benito Santiago does a good job behind the plate. Charlie Huff picks up a win, and the script was perfect for the Florida Marlins.
Their magic number now 161 as the Marlins beat the Dodgers 6-3.